Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Rose, your PMDD relationship expert. I have personally been suffering with PMDD for over 15 years and spent so much time desperately trying to navigate my intimate relationships, going from breakup to breakup, thinking that everyone else was the problem. I am now married to an amazing PMDD partner thanks to the PMDD-specific relationship tools that I have developed over the years, and now I am here to share them with you. Because I know that there is not much research available to PMDD partners, I am now dedicating my doctorate practice specifically for PMDD relationships. I am a traumatology doctoral candidate, and each week I will be providing PMDD partners with my signature PMDD trauma transformational tools on how to effectively navigate an intimate relationship while having PMDD so that you can avoid the patterns of breaking up with your partner every single month and you can finally have the supportive relationship that we all desire and deserve. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Now let's get into your weekly dose of PMDD relationship tools. We got this. Today we're going to be talking all about a secure attachment style, which is the goal for all of us PMDD partners. And I just want to preface and say that a lot of us may be in this secure attachment style when PMDD is not present. So PMDD is one of those things that can kind of hinder us from being in that secure attachment style. So we may flip-flop from secure to anxious and secure to avoidant, just depending on our core values of like where we are when everything's good. So just think about you and your PMDD partner when you're on your best days. What does that look like? Because whenever we go into PMDD, it is always the opposite of what our best days look like. So a secure attachment style are really comfortable with intimacy. They feel close. They feel like they can be vulnerable. I know a lot of times when I'm not in PMDD, my partner can say I'm more open. Like if I did things in PMDD that were below the belt or, was out of line, I'm more able to take responsibility because I'm just really humble and I'm really in tune with his feelings. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, I'm sorry that I did that, that I went too far. I'm not really making excuses for my actions. I'm kind of seeing things from his point of view. I'm very consistent and trustworthy during that time where I'm just thinking about what it is that my partner needs. And a secure attachment style does have a way of having you hone in on not just what you want, like the selfishness kind of goes away. So if you were in the anxious space, you're no longer trying to take so many things from your partner. You're trying to figure out what you can give them. And if you were in that avoidant place, you kind of come out of your shell and try to see what it is that your partner needs. So I'm going to give you some visuals for you to really think about as to, are you in a secure attachment style when you're not in PMDD? And that's going to really help you work towards that when PMDD comes. So the first thing is, do you make your partner a priority in your day? Do you do things that are directly linked to the well-being of your partner? So do you get up in the morning and say, how can I make my partner's life better? Do I make them lunch? Do I, take the kids where they need to be? Do I, have sex with them? Do I show more affection so that they go out into the world feeling loved and adored? Do I make sure that I'm really good with the finances so that they don't have to worry about things? Like when you're in a secure attachment, you want to make sure that your partner feels as secure as possible. And a good way to do that is to make them a priority. So they're no longer a burden. It's kind of like you're asking them or you're thinking about them of what it is that you can do to make their day better, to make their life better. It's a very selfless action that you do, but you do it. Just think back to when you were first in love with your PMDD partner What is it that you would do for them if they needed you to, or even if they didn't need you to, anything that they wanted, you would do it because you were so in love and you didn't think that it was like a burden. You didn't think that it was too much. You were actually happy to do things for them because you were in a place where you wanted to see them happy. So that is a sign that you're in a secure relationship. Another sign is, are you consistent with the ways that you show up for them? So when you're getting out of PMDD and you're getting back into that secure attachment style, there's a consistency with it, a consistency when PMDD is not present. So for me, I know that I am out of PMDD for about 14 days. So during those 14 days, I'm consistent in all of those things that I'm doing for my PMDD partner to make them feel loved, to make them feel seen, to make them feel validated. That means if they've had a hard day and they want to talk about things that happen at work, I'm there to listen. I'm not being avoidant and thinking like, oh, I don't have time for this, or they're being a Debbie Downer. Like, I don't want to talk about negative things. Like, I'm not making it about me. I'm all about, okay, what can I do to make them feel good about being with me, in the sense that they have someone that they can talk to their day about. And the next thing is, do you accept feedback without becoming defensive? So if you're in a place where your partner can't criticize you or say things that they don't like without you getting defensive and getting to an argument, you're putting that wall up. So you don't have a secure attachment style, because a secure attachment style would be, okay, I know that I'm not perfect. That's like the number one thing. Just admit that you're not perfect. That doesn't mean that you're not striving for perfection, or that doesn't mean that you're not trying to be your best, but you know that you're going to make mistakes. So if they call you out on it, if you have a secure attachment style, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I've had my partner do that to me plenty of times, where they've kind of told me something. And when I'm in PMDD, I'm more defensive. So I'll probably try to defend everything that I did and said, and like, no, if they tell me I did something wrong, like, no, I did it because of this, or I did it because of this, like, I'll make up all these excuses. But when I'm in that secure attachment, so I'm like, yeah, you're right. I could have handled it better, or I could have done that. Like, I'm more likely to accept the feedback and not take it defensively and allow them to be open, because sometimes, a lot of times when you do stuff to your PMDD partner, a part of the healing process for them is just for you to acknowledge that you went below the belt, that you did things that you weren't supposed to do. So that's really healing for them, when you're in that secure attachment style, to just take responsibility for your actions, no matter how bad they might have been. Just take responsibility. And the next thing is, do you hold space? Do you give time and space for your partner to express their feelings even when you don't understand them? I know so many times when we think about the ways that we would react to certain circumstances, we kind of say, oh, well, my partner shouldn't feel that way, because if that were me, I would do this like this. Or if that were me, I would feel this way. Well, the bottom line is, you're not them. You are you and they are them. So do you allow them to have feelings that are separate from you? Do you allow them to feel certain ways that are separate from how you feel? Do you allow them to react differently and let that be okay? I know a lot of times for my partner, he gets really, clingy and stuff like that. When he feels insecure, when he feels like something's being threatened because I'm being too vague. And so it's on me to recognize that and be like, you know what? He's asking me these questions because he's really feeling insecure. Let me just answer them and give him the best answers possible so that he can get back secure again. Versus me being like, I can't believe he wants me to ask these questions. Like, oh my gosh, like, that's ridiculous. You're questioning my character. Like, are you willing to come out of yourself and be there for your partner? That's ultimately what it is. And the next thing is, do you recognize when you're out of line and put effort into change? So this is when my private PMDD coaching comes in, because that is what a lot of partners has said, like, hey, the fact that my partner reached out to you and got sessions with you and wants to work on our PMDD relationship, that's showing me that they're in it for the long haul, and them wanting to work on it made me want to work on it. And so now we're both working on it. So the main thing is if you're in a secure relationship, the way that you can show that it's important to you is by investing in it. So if you're choosing to invest your money, your time, your energy on all these other things, but you're not willing to do it in your relationship, that says a lot about your commitment and your loyalty to that relationship. If you're like, oh, that's too much, but then you go off and spend money, time, and energy on other things, but then when it comes to your relationship, you're questioning that investment. It's like, how important is this to you? Is this not important to you? Like, you're saying it is, but when it comes time to like actually do something about it, you're not willing to do it. So if you're not showing up in a place of feeling like you're confident that I'm going to do my best with, say, if it's the tools that I'm giving you, but you know that you need customized tools that are specific for your relationship that can be answered in this 2-month private PMDD coaching. You saying yes to the coaching is showing action to your partner. It's like, I'm willing to work on this and look at this. And then you re-energize them to be recommitted to you by going through the process and saying, hey, I want to apply to work with you. Let's go into this together and let's make our relationship better. Like, that's showing them a lot, because it's showing them that you're not just sitting there saying, I have PMDD, and so you should just deal with it, and I don't know what to tell you. The next thing is, does your PMDD partner validate your experiences? So when you're in a secure relationship, they validate your experiences. What does that look like? That means a lot of times my partner does this with me when I'm deep in PMDD and I'm telling him about the intrusive thoughts. I feel like this. I feel like this. And instead of him telling me that sounds crazy, that's unrealistic, that's not true, that's false, or whatever, he validates it, and he literally says, wow, babe, it must be tough for you to think like that. Like, what you're going through is really hard. Just by my partner recognizing that what I'm going through is really hard makes it so much better for me. And that means I'm in that secure attachment when I come out of PMDD, because we're both in a place of, he can tell me what's going on with him, I can tell him what's going on with me, and we can empathize with it versus judging it. I feel like when we're in PMDD, we kind of judge and tell our partners consciously or subconsciously, like, you shouldn't even feel that way about this, or why do you always feel this way about this? Like, you make a person feel bad for feeling how they feel. So when you're in a secure attachment style, you're willing to put forth the effort into change. And that's so important, because it makes your partner have hope that things are going to be different. If you don't change anything, if you just be like, oh, I hope things are better, but there's no action behind it, then you're probably not in a secure relationship, because your partner doesn't believe a thing that you're saying because there's no action behind it. So I really want you to get into the mindset of, when you're getting into these secure attachment styles, it's so important to repair all of the damage that has been done in your PMDD relationship, because after month and month and months of PMDD and you being either avoidant or anxious, they're going to need to see the light and say that, okay, I'm working towards this. And like my partner said a couple of weeks ago, all he needed to do was see some effort from my part, and then he could kind of take the cyclic nature, the ups and the downs of whatever it is that I'm going through. But if I was to just say, oh, I don't know what to tell you, like, I have PMDD, like, you just need to shut up and go in a corner until I come out, like, number one, that's not a secure relationship. Number two, that's emotionally abusive, because you're neglecting what your partner is actually needing and expecting them to lessen it to what it is that you're willing to provide. So say if they need a 10 and you're like, hey, I'm going to give you a 4. Like, but is that really all that you could give them? So I'm fine with you giving your partner a 4 if that's literally all that you can give them. But if you know that you can give more, and I know we get into that point of PMDD where we can look at our partner and know what it is that they need and feel like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm not going to give them that. Why? Why are you not going to give them that? Because you feel so horrible that you're in PMDD, that you're suffering and they're not. A lot of times there's a good amount of bitterness towards PMDD partners where they're thinking about, I have to deal with this disorder, but my partner doesn't. And they think it's so easy and they think I should just be able to go off and do whatever. But that's not the case. Your expectation is not to be perfect. It's not to be a 10 all the days of the week. But when you're getting into the secure attachment style, it's just being open and honest and having a good time. Like, go back to the times where you had a good time with your partner. Think about the things that you committed yourself to this person, whether you're married or not. You committed yourself to this person. And so many times we forget why. What was the life that you saw with this person? And then ask yourself, are you living it now? And if you're not living it now, why not? Why are you not choosing to live your life like that? Because it is a choice. When you get into those secure attachments and PMDD is not there, it's like a free for all. I'm like so happy when PMDD is not there because I feel like I can really customize my relationship to every way that I want it to be because PMDD is not standing in my way. But if you're not taking advantage of those times where you just have space and opportunity to just be together and reconnect, you're never going to get to that place of having a secure attachment style for the both of you. So if your partner's an avoidant or an anxious attacher, like you may have to go back and forth with techniques to heal that. And that's to expedite that process. You can apply to work with me with the attachment series, the PMDD attachment series that I'm going to be doing, which is a one-time call for 90 minutes. And we're just going to identify what your attachment style is, what your partner's attachment style is, and what we can do about it. So go to the link in my bio to apply for that. And we can get on a call and really figure it out because you need to have an accurate baseline in order to know what it is that you're going to be doing. So when you get into the secure attachment style, a big thing that I want you to remember is that you need to do daily actions to make sure that you're consistent with it. This is not a one-time thing where you just do something one time and then it sustains itself over time. This is something that you're going to have to do on a daily basis. And I want you to develop a ritual for you and your partner. When we did ours, it was a little awkward at first, but we got used to it. So I'm telling you that so that you know if you start doing a ritual with your partner, it may be awkward at first, but that doesn't mean to quit because eventually it's going to get better. Eventually you're going to get to a place where you feel the emotion behind the action. Like we said our daily devotionals every day, our daily devotionals, and he feels the action behind me sending it versus me just sending some devotional and him being like, like you have to develop something for you and your PMDD partner that reconnects you every single day. And a lot of times for those partners that go off to work and they want to be in that secure attachment style, leave something in their briefcase, leave something with their lunch, like just send a text message around the time that you know that they're eating and just be that loving partner that they need. And they're going to be that back to you. And then that's how you're going to know that you are in a secure attachment style. As always, if you need help with understanding your attachment style or anything regarding PMDD, reach out to me on Instagram. I literally spend 2 to 3 hours a day messaging you on Instagram, giving you advice, listen to your stories, just indulging. And just like if you look at my my Instagram on PMDD, I give you the day-to-day of what I go through when I'm in PMDD and when I'm not in PMDD. And I literally show up every single day so that you can see what that looks like. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do at In Love with PMDD. And again, grab those last spots of my private PMDD coaching. Once those are gone, they are gone, but I would love to work with you and your PMDD partner. We got this. I hope these PMDD trauma transformational tools help you and your PMDD partner. I am so excited to announce that I am opening up 10 spots for my exclusive 2-month private PMDD relationship coaching called Breakup Proof Your PMDD Relationship. Within these 2 months, I will be working with you one-on-one to give you customized strategies to ensure that you and your PMDD partner stop the monthly breakups and stress so that you can have the supportive relationship that you desire and deserve. I am only opening up 10 spots, so go to my website at www.inlovewithpmdd.com or DM me on Instagram at InLoveWithPMDD and grab your spot now. It's time to start actively working on your PMDD relationship. Remember, love is not just a feeling, it's an action. And I know that your PMDD relationship is worth not only saving, but working on so that you both can be at peace with your PMDD relationship. If you found this podcast helpful, please comment and leave me a 5-star review to help other PMDD partners find our episodes. With all these tools and support, this is how you can help support the show and other PMDD partners. For everything that as PMDD partners go through, we should not have to do it alone. Until next time, remember, we can have the relationship that we desire and deserve while having PMDD. We got this.